Welcome back, everybody. I'm the programmer, and I'm here to teach you everything you need to know about coding to get a job. Today, we're going to continue on the topic of conditional statements, and we're going to take a look at the different types of comparisons you can do when checking a specific condition. So if you're ready, put on your favorite tank top, grab yourself some SARMs, a protein shake, of course, and let's get started. Alrighty, so the last time we looked at the basics of conditional operations and why we would do them, when we would use them, how they work, but we didn't really get much into the different ways how you can do some comparisons and check how a condition is true or false. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. And just to refresh our memory a bit, the last time we just defined a variable like age, for example. Let's set this to 16. And then we performed a basic check. So if I'm gonna check whether age is going to be less than 18, then it's going to return true, right? It's simply checking whether our age that we defined, which is 16, is going to be less than 18, and it's going to return a Boolean value. In this case, it's true. However, we can also take this and change it to a larger than sign, and it's going to be false, of course. Now, you can also use this little fella here, which says it's either larger than or equal to 18, which in this case, it's false. But if I change the age to 18, and run the exact same code again, then I'm going to get true. Now, this also works if I'm going to change this to the smaller than sign. So it's just going to check the exact same thing. Is age smaller than, less than, or equal to 18? And yes, that is true. So this is what we did last time. Very basic. But there are a couple more that you need to be aware of that we're going to cover in this video right here. And the first one that we're going to talk about is the equal to operator. So if I'm going to make a variable, let's call it my age, and set this to 23. Yes, that's my actual age, for anybody wondering. And if I want to make sure that my age is actually equal to 23, I'm going to use my age, the variable that we just defined, and I'm not going to put a single equal sign there, because the way how we use equal to signs is when we are assigning a value to something, right? Like we did over here. We don't compare anything here, right? We don't compare anything. We set my age to something. In this case, we're not setting my age to anything. We're making a comparison. So we're gonna use a second equal to sign. And now, if I'm running this, it's going to say it is true. But that is not the only way how we can check whether something is equal to another thing. Actually, the last way is a lot of times not the proper way to check whether something is equal to something else. Because when we compare something, we usually want it to be a strict comparison. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Again, if I'm defining my age, but this time I'm not using a number. I'm going to use a string. And now it's still 23. But the data type is not a number anymore, it's a string. So right now, if I say, come on, here we go. If I run the exact same command, the exact same code of console log my age, on whether my age is equal to 23, it's going to say, yeah. But wait a second, there's still two different data types. So maybe that's not what you want to return. Maybe you want to check whether your user is actually giving you the exact same data type as the one you expect. What do we do then? Well, we're going to use another equal to sign. And this is a strict comparison. And if I run the code right now, it's gonna say false. But if I'm gonna go back to my age and set this to the number 23, and run the same comparison again, it's telling me that is true. So that's how we use strict comparisons. But what if you say, well, I don't want to check whether my value is equal or strictly equal to another value. I want to make sure that it is definitely not equal to another value. What do I need to do then? Well, this is what we do. We have our age over there, and we're gonna say my age, and we're gonna put down an exclamation mark and then an equal to sign. And if I put 23 there, it's going to do the following. It's going to check, is my age not equal to 23? And well, of course, it's false because my age is 23. If I'm going to change this, and I'm going to say my age is 24, then it's going to be true, of course, because my age is not 24. Not yet. Straightforward. So, this is again the non-strict way to do this. And what is the strict way to do this? Well, let me change my age back to 23, but as a string this time. The strict way to make this comparison is by, you might have guessed it, put down another equal to sign. And right now, it's going to say true. The string, my age, 23, is not the same as 23, the number. So it's going to return true. That's how it works. And you might say, well, that's pretty cool. But what if I want to check two conditions at the same time? What if I want to check that my age meets a certain requirement, but that also my height meets a certain requirement? So let's just declare two variables here. Let my age and set this to 23, and let my height, let's set this to 180. Now, let's say I want to make sure that both of those criteria are met. I'm simply going to say my age is more than 20, and I'm going to do that with two and signs, and my height is more than 175. If I run this code, it's going to say true. But let's say I'm going to shrink next year. I'm losing 10 centimeters and it's unfortunate. And I have to run this code again. Now, again, it's going to check my age. Is it more than 20? Well, yeah, it is. It's 23. And my height, is it more than 175? Well, no, because right now it's 170. So, sad for me, I didn't meet both criteria, and now it's going to be false. But wait, you might say, what if I don't want to check whether both conditions are true, but I just want to check whether either one of those conditions are true? Well, then we're not going to do an AND check. We're going to do an OR check. So, if I pull back this code right here, and instead of saying AND, the double AND sign, I'm going to put down those two lines. This is going to say OR. So I'm going to check, is my age more than 20? Yes, it is. Or is my height more than 175? Which it is not. But since this is an or, only one of them has to be true for this whole statement to be true. And that's how it works. Those are pretty much all the things you need when it comes to conditional statements. It's very easy. You're going to use this in conditional statements all the time. All the time. In if statements, else if statements, whatever. You're going to use this a lot. But that is not the only way how you can write an if, else if statement, a conditional statement. There are two other ways. And in the next one, we're going to cover the ternary operator. So I hope you're looking forward to that one. Take care, God bless, and goodbye.